Hey guys, Andrew Marsh here with DrueFit.com. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what my diet looks like on a typical day because I have been getting the question quite frequently, and instead of answering you guys individually, I thought I would just do a video. So, before I get into it, I want to first ask if you guys can please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, comment, or leave me feedback for future videos you would like to see. It would be greatly appreciated, and I love hearing from you guys. So before I get into what my diet looks like, a few things that I also implement to help benefit my health are this. Number one, sleep is crucial, probably one of the most important things that you can implement. Make sure you're getting good quality sleep. Personally, I get to bed at 9:30 p.m. at the very latest and wake up at 4:30 in the morning, maybe 5, but I really like 4:30. That's what I've been doing recently. And when I wake up in the morning, I am consuming my first morning urine every day. I'm not going to get into the benefits because I've talked about it so much in my other videos. And then after I do that, I take an ice cold shower, practicing cold thermogenesis. Again, I've talked about the benefits of that as well, but it really starts your day off right, gets you motivated, gets you in the right mindset, enhances your focus and mood. And from there, I'll pop on a few of my podcasts while I get ready in the morning. And these are like some motivating podcasts, really give you different perspective on things in life and motivate you to take on the day's activities. And those all play into a healthy lifestyle and my diet. So when time comes for breakfast, most people like to eat breakfast around 6 to 8 a.m. I actually skip breakfast 95% of the time. I implement intermittent fasting. Aside from consuming my urine, I might consume coffee, but that really depends on what my environment is going to look like that day. And I know I just did a video on why coffee is unhealthy, but I do consume maybe 1 cup a week. In the past 2 months, I think I consumed probably 3 cups. But I really want to make sure that I'm getting enough sun when I'm consuming coffee, avoiding non-native EMFs, and staying hydrated when I'm consuming coffee because I know the damaging effects when consuming it. So that's basically it for breakfast. And the reason why I implement intermittent fasting, not only does it give my digestive system a break, it enhances a lot of my hormones, but it also is great for my body composition. And if you're one of those people that is concerned about your body composition, which it's okay to be, this is a great thing to implement, and I have been practicing it for a few years now and have had great success with it. But when I do practice intermittent fasting, I do the 18-hour time period where I am not eating and a 6-hour time period where I am eating. This past week, though, I actually guinea pigged myself, did a 22-hour fast with a 2-hour time period where I was eating for the entire week. I really enjoyed that, but the reason why I'm not going to continue is because my days are look like I'm walking about 10 miles a day. So I was a little burnt out, and if I do take an office job where I'm not moving as much, sure, I'd go back to that regimen, but I was actually feeling pretty drained, and I really had to dig deep to actually overcome those hunger pains and power through my workouts, which I don't like to do on a consistent basis if I don't have to. So right now I'm going to keep it on the 18-hour not eating, 6-hour time period where I am eating. Then comes time for lunch. My lunches generally look like a ketosis or paleo type lunch. Now, I'm not a major advocate on either of these diets being the end-all be-all, the one that's going to save your life. The reason why I like them is because they are so low in carbohydrates. And if you know me, you know I have been avoiding carbohydrates like the plague for about 7 years now. Specifically, I've had good reason to do so. From about 2014 till now, and I'll talk about that a little bit later when I get into dinner, but I avoid carbs very much so throughout most of my day, and there's a specific reason why. And what my lunch looks like in general is going to be usually a very large salad. It'll be like a head of lettuce, iceberg lettuce chopped up with an avocado for the healthy fats, and then my meat source will be ground beef, salmon, tuna, mackerel, sardines, or chicken. And I'm always making sure that when I consume any of these kind of meat that I'm getting the top quality source. If it's beef, I'm getting grass-fed, grass-finished. If it's salmon, tuna, or mackerel, I'm making sure that it is wild-caught, not farmed fish. When it's chicken, I'm making sure that it's free range. So be very aware of the kind of food that you're getting. Try to go organic if you can, and try to get the best cut meat that you can, healthiest quality meat from the healthiest source. And like I said, this past week, I actually continued my fast through lunch into the dinner time, I really enjoyed it if I didn't have so much activity throughout my day. But when I do fast like that, I'm making sure I am consuming some kind of supplement to really replenish my amino acids so my body doesn't start eating away at my muscle, because I do like to take care of my body composition and maintain my lean muscle mass. So I will in general have something like colostrum or amino acids or collagen peptides, something that has no carbohydrates or very little carbohydrates, but really has a good source of amino acids, so you are not eating away your muscle and just becoming very frail. And that is very important to me. But if you're somebody that doesn't care about that, sure, do that long of a fast and don't consume amino acids. It's not extremely vital in my opinion. And then comes dinner. So before dinner, on days that I train, I usually train around 3 or 4 p.m. and I'll try to be in a fasted state when I train because those benefits are amazing. But on days that I train, I'm making sure that I am consuming a very carbohydrate heavy dinner based on the science of carb backloading by John Kiefer. And I'm not going to get too much into the science behind carb backloading, but to me, it's the best diet that I have come around because it helps keep you sane. You get to enjoy your favorite foods, and it's actually very great for your body composition. I've been practicing it for about 4 years now, so I'll post a couple pictures right now on what my body looked like back in 2015 or 2014 and what it looks like today. And I have to give a lot of credit to the diet of carb backloading. But again, that is what my diet looks like on days that I train. Very carbohydrate heavy dinner. I get to consume pizza, pasta, my favorite desserts like donuts or a chipotle burrito or certain kind of pastries like turnovers, cookies. The list goes on and on for the possibilities for carb night, and that's why I am a huge advocate of it, because you don't have to give an arm and a leg to get the body that you want and stay healthy. So I highly suggest you check out John Kiefer, check out his book, Carb Night Solution. The science is very awesome about it. And I'll give you a brief overview, and it's this. So when you wake up in the morning, your cortisol is very high. That's what gets you out of bed, gives you that minor stress to really take action for the day. So your carbohydrate or your cortisol is high, and as throughout the day it tapers off, and that's what helps put you to bed at night. So in the evening hours it really gets low. But the problem is when you consume carbohydrates, when your cortisol levels are high, your body will begin to store those as fat. So in the morning and lunch, that is why I avoid carbohydrates like the plague, is because those carbs will be stored as fat in general. But when your cortisol begins to taper off later in the day and you work out that day, when your cortisol is tapered off around 5 or 6 p.m., that is when you can spike your insulin with carbohydrates, your favorite foods. And when your cortisol is low and you train that day, it will actually begin to store that as muscle. Now that is a very, very basic overview of the science behind it. That's my understanding of it. If you want more science on it, just check out John Kiefer. Huge fan of his, great work. But it'll really give you the science behind why it works. But then if it's a day that I am not training, that is when I'll have a similar dinner to what my lunch looked like, meaning keto or paleo typed dinner. So I'll in general go to Chipotle, make a big salad there, or I'll cook something at home like a steak with asparagus or Brussels sprouts, or another chopped salad with iceberg lettuce and some healthy sources of meat and good fat. So nothing too amazing to take home about my diet, but I hope this helps you guys out. And another thing that I implement every day, I almost forgot to talk about, is my water consumption. I think it's very crucial that you're consuming high quality water. Me, I'm a huge advocate on consuming distilled water simply because there's no impurities in there. There's no fluoride, there's no chlorine, there's no parasites, viruses, bacteria that are in the water like tap water or spring water with inorganic minerals. Distilled water is the cleanest water that you can be drinking, and I know some people will tell you that early death comes from consuming distilled water. If that's the truth, then I should probably be close to death by now. because I've been consuming about a gallon a day here and there for the last year, and it's been the only water that I have been consuming for the last year, and I've noticed nothing but benefits for my health. So make sure you're getting a good clean source. Do your research on distilled water, and how much water should you drink a day? I'm going to leave that up to you, because there's certain days where I feel like I don't need to drink that much, so I'll drink when I'm thirsty, or if it's after a carb night where I just consumed a lot of carbohydrates, maybe I'll consume a gallon to really cleanse out my system and get rid of any excess carbohydrates that are still being processed. So again, this is going to be something that you gauge yourself on, and that's why I created the Drue Fit lifestyle plan, diet plan, that can be found on my website, drufit.com. And it's a program that overviews what my diet looks like, how you can implement this kind of diet into your lifestyle, and I also included over 55 health hacking tips to really achieve the results that you want. And it's only $20. If you guys want more in-depth information on it, I highly suggest you check that program out. It's about 150 pages, so kind of like a mini book, and it's only $20. And again, that can be found on my website, drufit.com. So that's basically it, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or want to leave me feedback, feel free to drop that below. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.